Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I'm just going to start off by sitting there saying that Curtis, I felt like was so not needed in this episode. I feel like a broken record when I sit there and say this sometimes. Um, with certain characters just kind of there to be there, you know? Like, I I don't understand what he added to the show to even be there. Like, the minute that Chase wants to sit there and question Curtis. Curtis is like, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm a lawyer. I know my rights. I used to be a cop, da 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 da. And it was like, okay, what was even the point of even having this scene? You know, it's not like he even really sat there and asked many questions. Yeah, he talked to Drew for a little bit, but like we had this talk yesterday. Like Drew and Curtis, I felt like they could have just wrapped up their scene yesterday and felt like there wasn't a need for this scene today. I am I am generally surprised that Trina told Emma what Portia did. And you know, the thing is, seeing how she was so petro um, about when Drew woke up, and Kai's like, listen, it's better if I go to the hospital to make everything seem like it's on the up and up because if I don't see him, it's gonna look sus. And she's not there worried if Drew either saw or heard them while they was not there running out the house and everything. But you didn't have that same energy when Emma sat down and was like, "What's going on?" And she just blurted out that her mother changed Heather Weber's test results, and Drew is blackmailing her. I mean, blackmailing them. I'm like, why would you do that for? I mean, I don't even think that like they're that cool enough to really be sitting there sharing that type of info. Now, I don't know if maybe this is like because you have Jocelyn, she's doing the whole WSB thing, and she's with Vaughn, and she has all this stuff going on, and yeah, her and Trina live together, but they don't really share. You know what I'm saying? Like they haven't really been sharing a lot of scenes lately, and I just feel like maybe they are um like gearing up to like kind of switch the roles around a little bit, like make Emma and Trina be more friends. Which also something I've been thinking about this for a while, and when I saw the intro to General Hospital, I'm just like, why does New Lulu not have an intro? Have a profile in the intro. Like I could have swore I saw Emma's um profile as far as intro for the show, but not New Lulu. Like I don't get that. I mean, it was kind of hard to tell because I had to sit down and watch it on YouTube because once again, there's news interruption and you don't get to sit there and see General Hospital. So, but I could have swore I saw the intro for Emma and not Lou. I'm like, the hell is going on? Oh, Wiley gets a goddamn intro, but not Lou. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, so yeah, she told her everything. And Emma listens to her, hears her out, and lets her vent and stuff like that. So they're gonna be developing more of a friendship at that point. I'm just more surprised, like why would you say anything? Portia pretty much also told Isaiah that you know that's gonna their little one night stand or whatever. That has to end. Because of Trina and Um, I mean, besides the fact that you are literally going behind your husband's back, because, listen, you are still married to him. So you are still going behind his back and sniff there cheating. So, like, granted, she didn't say that, but that's probably another good reason to, I mean, how do I sit there and say this nicely? Stop fucking your subordinate. Okay? Like, maybe that's another reason why you should sit there and not, pursue or continue with that whole thing. Um, Brennan talks to Nina and tries to get her to convince Charlotte to convince her mom to sit there and see Valentine. And Nina has her own concerns. She doesn't like Smith doing this behind Lulu's back or manipulating Lulu in a sense. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like Charlotte Smith being a pawn and whatever stuff that's going on between him and Valentine. And, probably the whole Willow thing, like she doesn't want to sit there and really mess up Charlotte's life by doing all that. But Brendan's like, hey, listen, I know that you are probably gonna have some legal troubles when she says that she is being Willow's alibi. And he's like, hey, listen, you help me out now, and the WSB will sit there and return the favor when you need it. They'll help you out. Didn't say how, but we'll look out for you. And seeing how he was able to sit there and make the evidence, the BS evidence um, that the courts had against Carly in the drone strike, I want to sit there and take him up on it because, as he said, you're probably going to need it. And now we have to get to the point of Lulu. This was a frustrating scene. I mean, let's be honest. Since she's woken up, she's been a royal pain in the ass, right? And she tells Carly about the whole Jack Brennan and Valentine and Charlotte going out there to see Valentine and her reasons of why she thinks it's a bad idea. But like she also comes across as a bit selfish and like insecure and a little immature. Like she talks about how she's already competing and with Rocco with Liesel for like his affection and stuff like that. And even Carly was like, this isn't a competition. Like just because Valentine has a close relationship with Charlotte, like at the end of the day, this is about Charlotte and what she needs, and she loves her dad. And like Carly said, you can't sit there and carve him out of your daughter's heart. Like you can't do that. On top of the fact that I feel like, one second, like some of the things I understand, right? Like them going on the run, him putting her in danger and stuff like that, and I get that part, right? But at the end of the day, that's still a father, and you want to sit there and try to act like he don't have any rights. You want to try to make this seem like, oh well, I call the shots, and like he's pretty much just a sperm donor, and I'm like, that's not how that works. So like that's also just out of pocket. And a lot of the things that Carly was saying was on point. Like, yo, listen, your daughter finds out that she had an opportunity to sit there and see her father, and you didn't tell her. She's going to resent you. But Lulu, because Lulu knows best, and like she said, no one could convince her. She's her mom, and she knows what's best. And pretty much F the father's race. That's just not important. And no one can sit there and convince her otherwise. So, like I said, she has been a constant, consistent, annoying headache since she's woken up. And on some level, I try to level with her and understand her. But, like, she, and this, again, this is another reason why, in a sense, her daughter is kind of resenting her. Because she doesn't sit, she feels like she's not being respected. Like her dad respected her. Her dad respected her to sit there and make choices and stuff. And she keeps playing this goddamn mom card, like I know what's best and stuff. But you're just doing this. It like I said, it feels like he doesn't. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't have kids, so I'm not going to sit there and try to make it seem like she should be sitting there trying to treat Charlotte as an equal, like Valentine did. But she is, even on a subconscious level, really resenting the fact that, like, you know, she feels like she doesn't get that same respect that Valentine gives. And in this episode, it's like she keeps proving that. She keeps proving that. And no one can sit there and tell her otherwise. So when it blows up in her face and and Charlotte, resents her and hates her and stuff like that, I'm not going to have any sympathy because people have been sitting there telling her about this and she refuses to sit there and listen. Um, Now Chase is sitting there asking about, like, did you go and see Drew? And of course, Willow's like, I'm dreading doing that because once again, she is not taking accountability. Drew is the reason why I lost my kid, but I still need him because even though the judge is dead, Michael has resources, and she's like, Drew is still my best line of defense. While Chase is like, listen, you being good enough is your best defense. Willow doesn't see it that way. And then when she finds out from Liz that, Rick left and she doesn't have a lawyer, she's kind of starts freaking out a little bit, you know? So at this point, who the hell knows what she's going to wind up doing? Now, Kai comes and visits Drew, and also Lucas went to go visit him and, told him that it might be some damage to his spine or whatever, and also defends Portia when Drew's like, thank God that, Portia didn't let me die or whatever. But Kai went to go see Drew, and Drew was like, I need you to sit there and get the contents out of that safe. And, Kai was like, yo, listen, this is a crime scene. I can't, like, they're not going to let me go in. Like, I just can't do it, and I'm not going to sit there and sneak in. I don't feel comfortable. And I feel like the only reason why Drew did not sit there and snap at him and bite his head off is because he can still sit there and provide some sort of use. And he, pretty much asks Kai to sit there and, find Willow and bring her to him. And that's exactly what he does. He finds Willow, and Willow comes to his room. I mean, she closes the shades for some odd reason. Don't know why she did that. That doesn't look sus. And then she just kind of stands over him with this look on her face. Um, Liz is also talking to Lucas, and Liz does sit there and say, "Hey, I walked in the room and Carly and Drew was arguing, and Drew did, and Carly did sit there and threaten Drew. And if the police ask me, I'm gonna sit there and tell them the truth." Like Lucas is like, "Hey, listen, that's just how she is. She'll sit there and threaten anybody if she's mad enough." And while Liz is like, "I get that," Liz also is like, if she felt like she was doing this to protect her kids, I mean, who does the hell sit there and say that she wouldn't? You also have to remember, she also a long time ago walked in court and shot Tony Jones in his goddamn head in front of everybody. So, in all reality, I'm not putting nothing past Carly. Now, I'm not saying she did it, but like, I don't put it past her. I mean, if she's ballsy enough to sit there and do that in front of a room full of people, who the hell is to sit there and say that she won't? Oh, Michael gets questioned by Anna, and while he's waiting for his lawyer, Marco comes in. Marco's like, hey, listen, long story short, brings him out, and they talk for a little bit, and Marco's like, Diane can't sit there and represent you because she's busy representing Alexis. So, he's like, hey, listen, if you don't want to work with me, our father's got issues, and Michael's like, listen, I trust Diane's opinion, so let's go in there, let's do this. And so she pretty much asks some questions and stuff, and he gives a good account of his whereabouts, except for the point where she asks, did you go anywhere else? Did you make any other stops besides Jacinda in the house and everything like that? And he lies. Because let's be honest, he was in a car, he was at Drew's place, okay? And so that portion of time is missing, and he didn't sit there and tell them that. Now, I'm going to be honest, bro. If you didn't actually shoot Drew, you should have just sat there and said, yeah, I was at the house. I thought about going in there, but I didn't. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, you lying about that and them finding out is going to make you look guilty. And you're already at the top of the suspect list for a bunch of reasons. Now they're gonna sit there and question Jacinda and making sure things match. And that's what Marco said. Marco's like, all right, let me find it and make sure the stories, they match and stuff. Well, Michael's like, nah, you know what? Listen, I got it from here, whatever, and he'll do it. Now, I don't know why. I felt like there was way more than actually happened. I don't know if I'm like skipping parts, but like for some odd reason, I feel like that's generally the yeah, it's like 15 minutes. I guess yeah. I guess I kind of covered everything. Now I'm gonna be honest. It's like 6 o'clock. I still do have Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and Beyond the Gates to sit there and watch. So I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to do a live stream tonight, and I do have to wake up early for work tomorrow. So I'm going to see if I can try to get this done, all this stuff done before. If anything, I'll stream tomorrow, but I will let people know in the community tab if I'm going to stream. I don't want to sit there and say no, and then people like don't show up, but like I don't want to sit there and say yes. I don't know. I haven't been really getting a lot of sleep lately for some odd reason. And like yesterday, I was super tired. I went up waking up a lot later than I should have. And then when you watch the shows and you do 2 reviews, if you don't do it in an earlier time frame, everything starts to snowball. And it just, and I still got to go to the supermarket, so that's not shit. But I will sit there and let people know in the community tab below. If I missed anything, write it in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.